The holidays are upon us, folks, and you know what that means. Winter is coming. And boy, oh boy, it seems like every single year winter comes up upon us faster and faster. It happens at that age. The stamina just isn't there. The excitement reaches a fever pitch. And then you look down and boom! Oh, right in the goddamn eye. Winter came too early and came too fast. And oh, jeez, oh God, can you taste stuff in your eyeballs? I couldn't even believe that. But in all seriousness, folks, winter does only come once a year. Kind of like Santa Claus being, Mrs. Claus's least favorite man to deal with because he only comes around once a year. But man, winter comes so goddamn often. Sometimes it comes incessantly to the point that you just have to deal with piles and piles of snow and slush and snowball fights. I broke up a snowball fight between two girls, and then I had to break up another one involving actual snowballs. But man, winter will just come a ton, and then winter will come so much that it'll roll over and go to sleep, sometimes on the wet spot, because it just can't come anymore. That being said, once again, do not look down when winter is coming or anybody is coming. Just always make sure you look straight ahead and say it'll all be over soon. It will all be over soon. It'll all be over. Woo! I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming 2025 from somewhere in Atlanta or just outside Atlanta. I don't know. They've run this arena before and they had a good sized crowd and a pretty active crowd, I will say. I did like the venue, and I do like the fact that they make this an annual tradition. The Continental Classic continues. Can Eddie win the big one? Can Excalibur actually sound like a normal human on commentary? Shivani shouldn't be on commentary. Bryan Danielson needs to go get some goddamn neck surgery because I'm sorry. They got plenty of other commentators. They have Caprice, Ian Riccaboni. They have other people they could bring in. There are ways to do this where you don't have a three-man commentary team that can't find their own ass with both hands. So let's, speaking of ass, let's talk about the timeless love bombs of Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa against the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. It's the Women's Tag Team Tournament Final with referee Aubrey. The crowd is up for this. Harley has improved. I will give her that much. I think this is about her ceiling. I don't know if she's going to get appreciably better, but she has definitely improved in just the last year. I mean, like the last year and a half. I remember seeing her against Anna Jay, I believe, at the Wrestle Dream 2024 pre-show, and she had improved a little, but it really has shown a lot this year. I think this match needed more women bumping their tits together because that seemed to be the main offensive maneuver. And then they all forgot how tags worked about 2 minutes in. I know this is something that is across all wrestling promotions. WWE does it. And AEW, do not get me wrong, does have some excitement around its television, but for all the excitement it has, it also has some stuff where it just is feeling all samey. See, and I'm still reviewing AEW Weekly. More on that here in a little bit. Actually, I'll just say it right now. I'm about my wit's end reviewing it weekly. I've already stopped reviewing WWE, but nevertheless, gotta get to 1 million views before I decide to reassess all that. So, we got a pounds for a break. We then got plenty of back shots. All these women taking incredible back shots. On camera, by the way. Not like Dorothy's back shots in Wicked for Good. That's for one particular person that's watching this. That's going to hate that I said that. Dueling submissions. We did get we got her finishing move. That, whatever the hell it is, final cut variation. And then the Dr. Mom 1, 2, 3. So 13, 14 minutes later, Mina Shirakawa took the pin, all folded up. And there we go. Babes of Wrath are the new tag team champions. In all honesty, they really couldn't have gone with a wrong team here. I'm a little bit surprised they went with Harley and Willow. Part of me was kind of hoping they would go for Toni and Mina, so Willow could be free to take that TBS title away from Mercedes. More on that in a bit. But they got a pyro celebration. Toni and Mina celebrate with them, so you know what? They were happy. Also, Renee was there interviewing them for what she's worth now at this point in 2025. And there's You Deserve a Chance and all that, and then we get the aforementioned Pyro Celebration and that stuff. And Samoa Joe is really trying to make this main event work. And the Death Riders are on the stairs. It made me wish that Jimmy Snuka was still alive, is all I'm saying. So, Okada took on Jack Perry. Oh boy. The former, once great Rainmaker, taking on Jack Perry, who has not improved one single solitary bit in 5 or so years. A Gold League match. Why was Jack replacing Darby? Somebody, I forgot to write their name down. I apologize. I think you commented last week on either the Dynamite. I think it might have been the Collision review. So if you comment again, thank you. But they said Brody King. And you know what? Brody and Darby have an association. So good. I would have been all for that. Unfortunately, we got Jack Perry. So Callis was on commentary. Jack Perry, I'm sorry. He's not very good. He's never going to get better. He may have hurt his foot. Oh, darn. And the Poison Rana is stupid. The main reason that people wanted me to actually watch any of this is because during the STF spot, Okada bit his hand, and then Jack Perry bit Okada's dick to get out of the tombstone. Now, while I will say it was creative, this is also Jack Perry we're talking about, and creativity is something that only his dad had. And then we got a lariat, a slam, and then we got the Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. And I don't care about this Buck stuff. I don't care about this Callis family stuff. Don Callis talked. Jack Perry refused his services. Faces ran in. And good God, Take deserves so much better than this. So much better. He is not in a good place right now. I know he's the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He's made to look like a goof more often than not. The conglomeration celebrate. Mercedes, they had a package and a Mercedes, and all I'm going to say is drop the TBS title, you undeserving twat. And I'm sorry, if she holds that past World's End, they might as well throw that thing in the trash and let a woman dressed as a janitor find it later. The title is meaningless unless it comes off of her. And I don't care about a slow erosion. And by the way, this is not a knock. There is a particular friend of mine that mentioned this, and this is not a knock on them because I see the level-headedness that they have. But I am sick of Mercedes. Learn to talk like a human. Learn to actually act like something other than somebody that should be on the Vegas Strip. And I'm sorry, but it's a stupid dance. She can work in the ring, but she needs to develop a personality that isn't fake and phony like her fucking hair. Drop the TBS title, and then go and work your little indie dates and do all your stuff there. The sad thing is, this is one of two things I think will happen. She'll either drop the TBS title soon, and that'll really start the erosion, and then she'll hold the Owen Hart Championship as like the last title, and she's still got a belt. Or she's going to, and this is something else that a friend of mine mentioned, that it's going to be all down to the TBS title so she can have a 2-year run. Because that was like Double or Nothing 2024, she won it. And it feels like literally she has held the title for 3 years. So yeah, there you go. Eddie is somber. This is the 50th anniversary of Terry Funk's NWA World Title win. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. Shivani brings up Mark Briscoe. Good on Mark. And Tony Khan had tweeted out that 3 years ago, he had just had, he had his last conversation with Jay Briscoe about possibly bringing them in. Trying to work on the executive. Whoever that executive is, by the way, I do hope they have a miserable Christmas and that their mistress left them. But he's done good. Mark has done good. It's a shame that him and Jay couldn't be on television. Mark should have been booked better than this from the beginning. But he at least is a TNT champion. He will be a fighting champion. Whoever gave Wheeler Yuta a microphone, I want them fired. I want them fired immediately. And Bryan Danielson's like, oh, somebody should punch Yuta. You're one of the advocates for him, you CTE-ridden, Aberdeen-educated fuckwit. You goddamn moron. Go get your neck surgery so I don't have to listen to you. And maybe you'll come back with an attached brainstem. But Wheeler Yuta started talking, and I said, can we get Jose Gonzalez here? And I don't care if that's harsh. Me and Yuta, Foley versus everyone. Bischoff versus Flair. Brett versus Bill Goldberg. Vince McMahon versus Taste. Trump versus the Truth. I despise you. There are people that need skin grafts and need working bones and flesh and stuff like that. Not that String Bean Yuta has all that much on him, but they are having to, wait for donations, yet this sack of shit's wandering around with all that stuff that he doesn't deserve, that he never earned. And Shafir. Roddy, tell your stupid wife to go home. Just get paid the length of your contract. And Garcia, he starts talking. Just develop a personality, you freaking little weasel. They need to end the Death Riders. I'm not talking kick Mox out. End it. Just end it for the love of God. Tony, you are being stubborn and stupid. And the whole Netflix buying Warner Bros. Discovery, or whoever ends up buying it. I don't know if the Paramount thing is going to end up happening. There's antitrust and all that stuff. And even if the Netflix thing goes all the way through, it's going to be 12 to 18 months before any of this stuff is officially absorbed. So there you go. But maybe Tony needs to wipe the slate clean and end this shit, Tony. Why don't you focus on talents and not focus on son of a bitches that don't deserve television time like this? Because they aren't worth it. And I shouldn't get upset, but Wheeler Yuta is such a waste of skin. He is a waste of resources. He's a waste of oxygen. And Bryan Danielson is just as big of a problem as to why he's on television as Yuta himself. So anyway, Briscoe ended up running him off. Shafir stood there doing nothing, which is where she belongs, doing nothing. She can't even hit anybody with a frying pan right. I don't care that she's legit tough. She's a legit terrible wrestler. She makes Nia Jax look legit. The Triangle Madness are beating up some jobbers, and then Statlander shows up with a chair. Statlander and Tekla, I'm all for. Hangman and Swerve took on Shibata and Hobbs in a tornado tag. Oh, no rules, as opposed to the other matches. So the Jobber Inc. OPP's dojo people got beat up, and then the staple gun got involved, and I quit. No. If you're not going to take it seriously, no. And I like Swerve, and Hangman certainly made the most of the AEW World Championship run that he could. But no, they fought in the concession stand. They're finally in the ring after the break, and they put Hobbs through a table and pinned Shibata. If they're going to continue to do this stuff, and they're not going to continue to take anything seriously, a staple gun. I feel like stapling my eyes shut. Anyway, Callis on the Buck stuff. I do not care. I don't care. Stop this. They're going to have a 6-man next week. Omega's going to be on the team. Stokely, I believe, told Juice and Gunn that they're going to have a tag title match next week. And then Fletcher versus Speedball. In the Gold League. And I was told to watch this. Despite the fact that Rick Knox, speaking of wastes of space, and should be buried back in the goddamn Egyptian tomb they dug him out of, I was told to watch this. I was told that this was the best match on the show, and it was. I will also tell you where it lost me. Now, I want you guys to guess where it lost me, and I'll tell you in a minute. Kyle really should have wiped the floor with him. And I mean, I'm sorry. Speedball may be legit as far as, being able to kick properly and kick well and do all that. Taekwondo, whatever the hell it is. Good on him. And he can move well and do some stuff. Sure, he whiffs some stuff because he doesn't really want potato people. Bless him. That's good. And he does stand up for proper, causes and everything, and for people being themselves. And that's great. And if you have a problem with people doing that, you're the biggest problem in this country. It was a split crowd. And Mike used speed. It was super effective. We got a nice backbreaker and into a winding slam combo. That was well done. And Kyle did stall some, and Speedball used a lot of, good speed and some kicks and stuff like that. This is where it lost me. It lost me at the barricade slam. I don't care if Speedball is tough. That should have been it. Come back from break. Speedball maybe gets a little bit of a flurry, and then you go to the finish. This went 19 minutes. This went another 10 minutes roughly after that barricade slam. Which, by the way, is stupid. I don't care who takes it. It's stupid. And Speed was still going. We got some knees. We got, we got people sometimes landing with the knees. Sometimes he didn't. He kind of messed up a shooting star press. That wasn't particularly good. But on this show, it's great on a curve. The power bomb for 2, and then we got chops and chops and chops and chops, and then we got a Rana for 2. We got a spin kick and the knees, and then it looked like, oh my God, it looks like Kyle might actually get the victory. The Speedball missed outside, and then they get back inside, they're doing some stuff, and then, oh Jesus, the Brainbuster for 2. His finish, and it got kicked out of. And this is a big problem I got in WWE, AEW, New Japan. I don't mind finishes being kicked out of here and there for big matches. You need to ease back on that shit. And also, he took a slam on the barricade. And then a roll-up won it. So, there you go. Speedball got the victory after practically being paralyzed on the barricade. Hangman, once the winner of the main event, the Bucks won Omega to help them, and Joe beat Kingston. I don't have anything to say about the Joe Kingston match. It was what it was. Crowd was into it. There was like a 1% chance that Eddie might have won, and Joe won. I didn't hate it, but after some of the stuff on this show, I was done. Especially Yuta gained mic time. Like, seriously, you would have been better off giving it to a corpse. Which is quite frankly what he basically is. He's a wrestling corpse. Just like Bryan Danielson's once working brain if he thinks Yuta is valuable to this company. So that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Until we come around winter again, happy trails to you.